It's called pause and go. Okay? They're going to work their feet, get around that ball, catch it in their chest, and they're going to pause for a second. It's basically to make sure that they're in the right position. Okay? So they're going to kind of check themselves. Am I in the right position? Yes. And they're just going to step and throw. Make a good throw. So Brett, you want to demonstrate? Good luck, Chuck. Ah, see? And that's the other thing. If you're not focused, these drills aren't going to be very productive. And you can tell they're nervous, they're tired, they've had a long day, so they need to really bear down and focus on this. Doing a pause and go here. Pause. Very good. Just pause and go. So throw. You want to throw or no? If you don't, if your arm, they haven't thrown, so I don't expect a lot of velocity out of them right now. I don't want to kill our infielders. I don't think Mike D would like me too much if we did that. And then go to David as well. And these are drills that are great when you have a full team and you only have maybe a half hour in the infield. You go right down the line, third base, shortstop, second base, first base, and you just work on moving their feet. He's going to pause and then go. Now you can tell Brett's a little off balance. I want him to really focus on being paused in the next one. Go ahead, keep going. And again, it's not going to be perfect. These are college athletes who are still trying to be consistent with it. And it's not to say they're bad infielders, but it takes time. It takes a lot of trust, and it's something that's a process. There you go. And part of this, Mac makes it a little tricky on us, and we change up their footwork, so they're probably confused on what they're doing this morning to what they're doing now. So okay, so that was the first one. Once you do that, we try and get some rhythm when they're throwing. It's not when you're an infielder. My goal personally as an infielder was I wanted to try and get I was a shortstop. I wanted to get as close to the infield grass by the time I caught the ball. The reason being is the closer I am to first base, the easier the throw is going to be. The more time I have, and the less I have to put on it. I had a very strong arm, but there's no point in using it if I don't have to. So my goal was to charge that ball as far as I could so that when I had the ball in my hand, I can make a good throw and I don't have to be rushed. So in this drill, we're going to have them catch it, and they're going to take 3 shuffles, really get some momentum with their legs, and then make a good throw. So you can go ahead with that, Chuck. Just keep hitting ground balls, man. Very good. Now do David. Notice how they're still moving their feet. They're doing everything we've been doing. Now they're just getting some rhythm with their throw. Now notice when they're shuffling, okay? They're not patting their hands. Their hands stay still. Try not to yell here. They stay still at their chest, just like this. And when they're ready to throw, that's when they break their hands, okay? You don't want to be doing this because you may lose the grip in your glove. You may not be linked up properly, and that's when those bad throws happen. This will keep you consistent every time you're making throws. And they're making good throws every time. And like Coach McDermott said, they're following the throws every time. That's especially important for infielders because you want to be as accurate as possible. And the closer you are to first base, the more of your body you're using getting that front side, the better your throws are going to be. And one thing we always want to emphasize is, we want to play the way we practice. We don't expect when they get to a game to move any faster than this because they don't need to. The pace of the game doesn't change because of the atmosphere. That's as fast as they need to go, and that's something that they internally do. There's something called an internal clock. When people get to games, they get nervous, and their internal clock starts speeding up and going way too fast. It happened to me. It happens to everyone. It's natural. What you got to understand is if you make a clean catch and a clean throw to first base, majority of the time that guy's out. When you try and go too fast, move too fast, throw too hard, that's when stuff goes wrong. That's when you have those big innings because you're making errors. So make sure that you focus on pace and always just being under control. Now you can tell these guys are starting to get tired and their form's starting to break a little bit. So like Brett on that one, he wasn't getting down early enough. So Brett, make sure you're getting down this one, get that glove underneath that ball, and work up to it. And a lot of it is just a focus. Some people, they get tired, they don't focus as hard as they should. Make sure they're always paying attention to the simple things. Infield's simple, is just catching the ball. But if you're tired, you're not thinking straight. How you guys holding up? You all right? You need a break? You tired, David? Yeah, you sound like it. Unbelievable. All right, so after we go through that, we do a progression. Now we're simulating, that speed guy. That guy is going, you have to get rid of it quick, because if you don't, he's safe. Okay? So we just call it just one and go. You catch the ball, and on the next step, that ball has to be out of your hand going towards first base. Okay? And notice when they do this, they're still moving towards first base, they're still following their throws, they're still being aggressive with their hands. Very good. Their hands are still working towards the baseball, they're still on the left side of their body. They're not in an immediate rush, but they know there's a sense of urgency. And, when we get to our level, we have scouting reports, so we know who are the fast guys. But, at your age, you're just going to have to kind of dictate based on how the game flows, who are the faster guys than others. But notice how all their throws are still aggressive. They're not rushing everything. Everything's still in rhythm. Very good. And mind you, we're on a wood floor too. So if you're not aggressive on a wood floor with your hands, you're going to have split nails, just a lot of bruises and painful experiences. I know from experience, and this is probably the best layout for us because this teaches everything we want. This forces you to be aggressive, to move your feet, and be quick. And they're doing a great job right now of staying low, using their hands, having a good rhythm. It's all right. And hey, that's another great thing. If they notice you're doing it wrong, that's great, because it tells you they're focused on it. It's not going to be perfect, but if you can tell their feet aren't working and they notice it, like, hey, that's great, make sure you do it right the next time, And you have to remind them every time. If you don't, you go 3 days with doing it, and you take a day off, they're going to go back to their old habits almost guaranteed. It's something you have to hammer into their brain every day. When we were here, we had to take tests on it, so we knew it inside and out. Now I can tell David's starting to get a little tired. David, I want to make sure you're charging the ball still, all right, buddy? Make sure you're charging the ball. You keep going. I want to get a couple more reps so they can get an understanding. That's one thing.